Coming up next in Prime 7 local news.
Trucks loaded with hay all the way from Tasmania make their way through the region en route to struggling farmers.
Drought-stricken farmers are forced to shower at their kids' school in Trundle as water supplies run low.
Orange locals divided over a major subdivision planned next to Towak Park.
A life-saving cancer detection machine arrives in Orange thanks to a huge charity effort.
And for the first time in their history, the Geary Goats have won the GrainCorp Cup.
That's Prime 7 News.
This is Prime 7 local news with Madelaine Collignon, Liz Gwynn and meteorologist Karl Lijnders with your local forecast. Now, Prime 7 local news at 6.
Tonight, an epic voyage spanning 3 states to deliver feed to struggling farmers.
A local school opens up its showers for farmers running out of water.
Orange locals up in arms about a proposed development near the racecourse.
And breezy with a few clouds about for Wednesday. Weather details up next.
Good evening. A group of Tassie truckies are going to great lengths to deliver fodder to struggling farmers in New South Wales.
They've travelled over 2,000 kilometres in the past 4 days by road and boat, generously donating hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of hay. They're just one group sending help from across the nation to assist farmers doing it tough.
14 trucks, 300 bales of hay, all the way from Tasmania, making their way up the Newell Highway to help drought-stricken farmers in northwest New South Wales. Lucy Samuels, Prime 7 News.
Heavy vehicles carrying feed for drought-stricken farmers will no longer need a permit to travel on approved roads. The state government is waiving the permit for trucks, including B-doubles up to 26 metres long, to streamline the process and cost of getting feed to farmers. On a case-by-case basis, road trains will also be permitted to travel on roads not currently approved. The exemption is available from tomorrow.
The dry conditions are taking their toll on the small town of Trundle. Farmers are struggling and so are their children. But the local school is doing something about it, a small gesture that's making the lives of farmers just a little bit easier.
We are thinking about destocking. That is a really hard decision to make.
11-year-old Oliver lives on a farm just outside of Trundle. The crops are bare and there's no feed for the sheep, but that's not the only problems Oliver's family are facing. Mel Whiteman, Prime 7 News.
The Orange City Council has a difficult vote to make tonight in relation to a controversial subdivision near the racecourse. Residents near Towak Park are divided over the proposed rezoning, which some will say will impact their land.
Ploughman's Lane is divided. On one side of the road is Towak Racecourse and behind the houses on the other side is empty land. A proposal to the Orange City Council would see this empty land rezoned into 5-acre blocks, but it could also include the established residential blocks in that subdivision.
It is time now for a quick check of the weather with Karl Lijnders.
And Karl, after a bit of a frosty start in some areas, it was warmer than average once again.
It certainly was. That run of very warm days continues, particularly in the north where the skies have been clearer. And the south, a bit of cloud action from time to time, but certainly not capping the temperature. 17 at Lithgow and Oberon, 12 at Orange, 19 up to 20 degrees in the north yet again today with a west to northwesterly wind regime, and that's going to send in some warmer air as we go through tomorrow. Satellite pictures just show clear skies right across eastern Australia again under a dual high pressure system. This front though to the south will bring in a warm day tomorrow, cooling back on Thursday, and then the warmer air stays to the north of the Queensland border for Friday. We'll have a much stronger change coming in during the latter part of the outlook. We'll get to that later on, but there's the front for tomorrow into Thursday, bringing a light band of showers for southern areas, but for the north it continues dry, guys, through the next few days. Details soon.
All right, see you then.
Bye.
Thanks, Karl.
Still to come in Prime 7 News, Trundle locals not letting the drought get in the way of their annual show.
And a family using the Return and Earn scheme to help their son pursue his passion.
And at 6:30 tonight, the explosive exchange outside court as a former Archbishop avoids jail. Where to next for the PM's energy plan after it passed the Coalition party room? A pilot crashes a plane into his home, but what was behind the horror? And how a rapper's request triggered a boardwalk collapse, injuring hundreds. That's next.
Stay in touch 24/7 with the all-new prime7.com.au.
With the drought making its mark on small communities, it's more important than ever to support local. In Trundle, everyone is doing just that, with the local shows set to be a big one.
The dry conditions haven't stopped Trundle locals from entering the best of the best in this year's annual show.
Although there's a drought, this quality is very high here today.
For 50 years, Barry has been coming to the Trundle show and entering his award-winning produce. While Barry says his property is dry, this year is no different for him.
Staying in Trundle, the $500,000 upgrade to Berryman Park is finished, and what a difference it has made. Before the facelift, the grandstand was of a very poor quality. The railings around the oval dated back to the 1950s and the lights were often dim. But all of that old infrastructure is now brand new.
The oval here is a true multi-purpose community facility. It's used for rugby league, it's used for school cluster carnivals. It's being used by the community all the time for different things.
The oval also now has an upgraded amenities block, including disabled toilets.
A local Trangie woman is going to great lengths to fundraise for her son's international karate trip through collecting and depositing recycled bottles. Kylie Moore and her son Ben over the past 8 months have raised nearly $2,000 by depositing bottles at the return and earn bins in Dubbo. They travel to Dubbo once a week to recycle all the bottles they've collected. Still to come in Prime7 News, Karl Magpies' first minor premiership in 22 years.
And Gary Goats win the GrainCorp Cup for the first time in history. That's next. For the first time in their history, the Gary Goats have won the GrainCorp Cup. Their grand final win has completed a stunning turnaround for the club, who were bottom of the table for so long.
The very first premiership, the Gary Goats.
A celebration 16 years in the making.
I can't describe it. It is unreal.
Katrina Hobby has been remembered in the best possible way with a special memorial match in her honour. She died in November last year from ovarian cancer. Katrina was a passionate AFL player for both Orange Tigers and Bathurst Giants. Her two clubs played in the first ever Katrina Hobby Memorial Shield. The Tigers won the fixture 3 goals 7-25 to Bathurst 2 goals 5-17. It was a weekend of upsets in the men's competition. It started in Dubbo, where the Demons won a thriller against the Bathurst Bushrangers Rebels. In Orange, the Tigers lost at home for the first time this year, and Parks won their first this season after thrashing the Outlaws. The results mean Orange are yet to confirm the minor premiership with 2 rounds to go, and the reigning premiers are out of the top 4, with Dubbo taking their place. Still to come in Prime7 News, Karl is back with your local weather forecast. For a closer look at your weather forecast, it's back to Karl Lijnders.
And Karl, we thought today was quite warm, but it looks as though tomorrow might even be a little bit warmer.
It certainly will be, as a bit of spring air comes in from the Queensland region and desert country of the Northern Territory. Ahead of this cold front, you can see the isobars, lines drawn in here, coming in from the central parts of the nation. And as that front sweeps in, it'll just lift that wind into the region. But by Thursday, cooler west to southwesterlies develop, and it's relatively dry under a stable air mass. That stable air mass stays in place until around Saturday. We get a strong southerly pulse of air coming in during Saturday, if not Sunday, and that southerly will be quite gusty, if not gale force through Victoria and parts of New South Wales. Another follow-up front into Tuesday, Wednesday keeps us cold for the start of next week, and that put together now starts to bring in some shower activity in towards the central west. Some of that may fall as snow over the Oberon Plateau, very similar to what happened during last weekend. We have a severe weather warning currently for parts of the east. We have a warm day for the central parts of the state, and there's that severe weather warning current for the eastern side of the tablelands, including Katoomba, Lithgow, you're drawn in, and Orange, you are not in that warning area, but it will be a breezy day right through the region. 24 for Cobar, 23 for Condobolin, and Nyngan also 24 degrees, so very much a very mid-spring-like day on the way. Windy for Lithgow, wind gusts up to 100 kilometres an hour between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m, then quickly easing as the sun goes down. Thursday we'll have a much cooler day through the central west out to the north, thanks to a westerly westerly change moving in. So a warm night, still 8 for Cobar, 19 by afternoon. In the far north though, 22 for Coonamble. That cooler air won't filter in until mid-afternoon, but still a dry air mass means it will be sunny for most. Friday, we go a little bit more unstable thanks to the approach of a trough. That may bring in some high cloud, if not a bit of low cloud. But in the north, we stay out of that. So still quite sunny and dry, and even dry despite the cloud. And temperatures after a cold start will feel a lot colder thanks to that cloud cover. The outlook has got a bit of snow activity for the tablelands on Sunday, 6 at this stage. Could be colder. Next week, cold nights and still a mix of showers and hail with a few cold front skies about the tablelands.
Okay, thanks, Karl. We'll see you tomorrow.
And that's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for your company. You can join the debate on tonight's stories on Facebook.
And also watch tonight's top stories on our website now, Prime7 News at 6:30 with Daniel Gibson. Have a wonderful night.